Hello. Welcome. How is everybody? Welcome to Club Friday with Larry and Taylor.
Hey guys, glad to have you here. We're going to have a good time today. Hang in there.
So excited to have you here today. As you guys are coming on, let us know you're here. Hey, Brian. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Hello, Jill. Hello, Linda. We want to say hello. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission to give us your name, we always see is this. We see Facebook user, and we want to be able to say hello. So hello, Diane, and StreamYard, just scroll up there. There's a little link. You click the link, and it gives them permission to say who you are and what your name is. So welcome, Sheena.
Hey, Sheena.
Hello, Sandra. We're so happy to have you guys here. So Club Friday, here we are.
Listen, guys, Taylor loves doing the hellos and putting in the flags and putting in the hearts and all that stuff. I just want to get cranking, man. But we'll blend them together. We promise you. We're going to have a great time today on this Club Friday.
Okay, so we're talking about this. So we've been talking about, this has been the series that we've been doing. The 5 things that turn your life around. So we've been going through this series over the last 5 weeks, and we're at the 5th one. The fifth thing makes the ingredient that turns your life around. And we're going to talk about that today. Do you guys know what it is? Give us without cheating in your book, what is that 5th ingredient?
Because if you say what it is, we're going to ask you what page it's on.
So I'm going to go ahead and give it away. We got a couple of special guests here. I'm super excited to have them here with you all today, to hear their stories and hear their backgrounds and hear what's happening with them since they've been using the ABC approach. And so that's what this is all about. If this is your first time here, we want to say hello. Please drop a 1 and say hello. If this is a replay for you, make sure you push #replay, because we definitely want to welcome you here to the Millionaire Training Book Club, where we go clubbing with Larry and Taylor every Friday at 12 Central.
And let's talk about the book club. The book club is a part of the 3-legged stool, as we call it, which is the ABC approach. And the ABC approach is the most current, contemporary, progressive, effective platform that's out there in the world today around the globe. For no matter what company you're with, no matter what products you have, no matter what compensation plans, no matter what your profile of how you develop through 100% through social media, a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever it is, this platform is so progressive. And we generally have people on here that from different countries, different products, different compensations. That's true here today. But we're going to have this ABC approach. Today is the C, which is the club. What is that? How was that developed? Because of the B, which was the book. And all of this stuff only got put together in November. And we had to pivot into this because of what was happening with COVID and everything. It surprised us, guys. It absolutely surprised us like crazy to realize how much this was needed. This ABC approach was needed. And a lot of it has to do with what we do here on Friday, because it's a free platform. You can come in, you can listen, and then you'll hear about the book club. You'll hear about the academy. You're going to hear about a lot of stuff here, but hang in there. It's going to be fun.
So we're talking about today. So hello to my good friend, Riel. Glad to have you here. So we're super excited from all across the pond over here, from Norway. We've got Spain. We've got Ireland. We got Scotland. We definitely got Ireland in the house. Hello, Sheena. ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. That's exactly right. I love that. So guys, let's talk about this. What is the 5th ingredient? What is the 5th ingredient that turns your life around? So we've talked about this over the series, but the 5th ingredient, the final ingredient, is called resolve. Resolve. Like, I want you to think about, what does that mean? What does resolve mean to you? Because, you know, we talk about things in our business, and we talk about, you know, mindset, and we talk about, you know, we talk about that in the book. We talk about, you know, what's in the mental projector. We've talked about desire. We've talked about action. You know, we've talked about discipline. We talked about those particular ingredients. But at the end of the day, all of those things require this, and requires this of you, not anybody else, right? These are ingredients that you have to bring to the table. This is not from your upline. This is not from your downline, your sideline, your cross line. It doesn't matter. This is what you have to bring to the table, and that's resolve. You want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, resolve just means I'm going to do it no matter what. Absolute resolve. I got to be honest with you. The first time I heard this is from Jim Rohn, and we're going back 54 years. And when I set the first training class I ever set in my life was with Jim Rohn, and it got me immediately. I understood the concepts and principles. And I'm still learning how to apply them better to my life. But all out resolve just means I'm going to do it no matter what. And most of us don't, when we get started, especially in a network marketing sales environment, we lack resolve in certain areas of our life, and we kind of bring that with us. Well, I used to get the phrase jokingly, but it's descriptive, that I'm just not tall enough, I'm just not short enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not old enough. We bring that with us, but all of us have resolve in our life. In more than one area, we have that resolve. That means I'm going to do or die. You're going to see me waving on the top or dead from the side. It does not mean that you're a seven-figure earner. Doesn't even mean that you're a six-figure earner. It means that you have an all-out resolve to do whatever you're going to do and whatever you're focused in on. And it's easier than you think you are. And I'm telling you, you're better than you think you are. We got a lot of good stuff to share with you today, man.
So I love this concept right here. What you're talking about, Peter, is right. You know, I'll do it until. And so many times I think whenever you're starting out a business, whenever you're in business for yourself, you know, what happens is you, because you don't have any belief, you don't believe that what's being said is true, and you don't necessarily believe that you can do that. Whenever you talk about Larry as a long-haired hippie construction worker, you talk about me being the stay-at-home mom, you know, coming into an environment that you go, gosh, can I really do that? Because you see all the people at the top, and you go, gosh, they're so amazing. They've got everything together. They're making, you know, six figures. I don't see myself doing that, and that's okay. Wherever you are, if you're just starting, and you know what? You may be that six-figure earner right now. You may be like, I don't know that I have the resolve to do my job description, to do what it takes every single day. And so it really is making that decision, no matter what level you are. If you're starting, you've been around, that resolve that you are going to do your job today. What is your job? And that's really getting new customers with your product or service. That's getting new teamies, as one of the groups says. They call them their teamies, new people on your team, and just creating a path for the everyday person to create that few $100s. Now, you guys have heard stories in here over and over and over again that they just started in this business because they were just wanting an extra $200. I've heard that story so many times, and sometimes we forget that, and we lose our resolve that it can be just that simple as sharing it with someone to change their life on such, we think it's small, but it's big. It's big to them. It's life-changing for them.
And too often in our space, we get caught up on the six figures and the seven-figure steal, okay? It takes the same resolve. In my case, I didn't buy into six figures. I bought into five figures, okay? What was I buying into? I bought into $500 to $1,500 a month, because that's all I could see at the very most that I could do. But I got involved in this environment that we have recreated. We have recreated this environment that has built our entire space, that built all of the success that's out there, and tied it into what's current in our space today, which is the gig economy.
Yeah.
There's 60 million people in America alone that have been displaced that a year ago would never listen to your story. They'll listen to it today because $500 to $1,500 a month is the car payment. It's the mortgage payment. It's taking care of the college tuition. It's doing those kind of things. And those 60 million people will listen to you today like they wouldn't listen before. They're not looking for full-time necessarily. That's an evolutionary process, not a revolutionary process, okay? And if you can show them how to make that you don't even have to show them. You just got to provide them with the environment that they can walk in the front door. They have the key to the door, which is the ABC approach. They can walk into that door and they can get into this environment and they can be able to start out in that incubator process, as Taylor calls it, and go from $500 to $1,500 a month and stay there. That's fine. Or make $500 to $1,500 a week, or in some cases $500 to $1,500 a day. Pay attention to the audience. Pay attention to the language. Pay attention to the behavior and this ABC approach. And I'm telling you, magic's going to happen.
And I love, so if this is your first time here, or if you don't really quite have an understanding of what this book club is really about you. It's really about you, for you to get your own belief to use as a tool, but it's also about for you to connect with other people who may not have that resolve yet, who may not be quite where you even are, to use this as a platform to be able to plug into to increase their belief. They may not have the belief that you have. And so we are using this as a free resource here. As you go to the millionairetraining.com, this is how they get involved with the book club. This is how they get the book. We call it the ABC approach. And it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. I love what Sheena said. ABC as simple as 1, 2, 3. So you may have somebody on your team. I don't know if you can, because we're coming across, several different platforms here. And so if you're on a page, you might want to share this out with your team. If you're inside this group, add somebody into the book club group and tag them into this video. So we've got a couple of stories that I can't wait for you to hear, right? So we actually got one here from stateside. You guys are so used to hearing from Ireland, from Scotland, from Spain, Germany, from all across the pond, because let me tell you, those guys, they are definitely picking up what we're putting down without question. But now it's time to bring some things over stateside here. So I'm super excited to bring up our special guest here, and Mr. Noah. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Or good afternoon, good evening. You're doing amazing.
Depending on where it is, right?
Yes, depending on where it is. So how are you today?
I feel great. I'm a little nervous, but I'm just really honored to be a part of this community. And
how long have you been involved with the book club or the academy? Take us a little bit through that, your story and all that.
Well, guys, okay, first of all, you guys give Noah a big hand. You guys give him a whoop-woo and cheer him on because he's a little nervous. But this is all family here, right? This is just the book club. So here we go. So tell us about you.
Great. Yeah. So my name's Noah Center, and I've lived, mostly on the West Coast of the United States my entire life. And I grew up very fortunate. We did have some struggles, but my parents were entrepreneurs in spirit, right? And what happened, I wasn't very studious in school, but I was big into adventures and having fun and meeting people. And ultimately, I started a couple of businesses in my 20s, and they failed because I didn't know what I was doing, but I had the right idea. I wanted to work for myself. And so then my great idea was, I'll go to work for corporate America. That's what I'll do. I'll go to work for corporate America, and I'll get inside and I'll learn how to do sales. I'll learn how to do fulfillment. I'll learn how to do human resource management, and I'll figure out all the ways that I can then go and build my own business, right? Well, life got rolling and I did it, but I forgot, guys. I totally forgot. So what happened is, instead of being a spy, I just became completely caught up in it. And I climbed the ladder for 20 years. And honestly, it was great. But at the same time, I had trouble in my life. I had some big issues that came up, and some tragedy in my life. And it made me realize, like, when I was 12 years old, this isn't what I wanted to be doing with my life. And it started me on a journey. And then what happened is, like I was telling you guys, I I had met somebody and she had recommended this book called The Alchemist. And then I read this book and I got back onto social media, and that's when I found my sponsor, Jack Williams, and he was talking about this book, The Alchemist. And so, Taylor,
So,
like you said, yeah.
okay, well, first of all, like I love this story because, and I want to go back to where you were, like, you had this dream as a young kid, and how you got sucked in, and I don't know if that's a nice word to say, but got sucked into that environment. And I always say this, that environment is stronger than will. And how fast 20 years can go by, a blink of an eye. It can go by in a blink of an eye, but for whatever reason, that catalyst that turned your head, right, that made you to stop and wait. This is not what I thought my life was going to be like or look like, or whatever that took to give you that jolt, right? And I love this, that how, I love disgust. That's great. The disgust of it. That is one ingredient that turns your life around. But here's the thing. I love how God orders our steps, and how, because what you just said, somebody turned you onto a book, you read the book, and then on social media, you meet this guy that's halfway across the world, right? That's reading the same book. What are the odds of that?
It's 100% in my life. But yeah, so ultimately what happened then is I got introduced to network marketing as a business model, right? So me being high up in business in corporate America and traditional business, I went to work in researching it and looking and looking and looking. And I found that it's exactly what I wanted. It gives me the freedom. And that's the main thing, is the freedom. And the freedom, it can be scary, but it's been amazing, And then I did the typical thing where I got off to a hot start. And then, like Larry says, after 90 days, it got really complicated, and I started managing and I started chasing, and it got super weird. And then what happened is I was still plugging along, and then I got involved in these like different online, you call them gurus, right? These workshops and stuff. And it just started layering all this technique and stuff. And I got away from the core of my business, which was like talking to people and connecting with people and trying to solve their problems. And ultimately, finally, I got introduced, to the book. And this is what happened first, is I got the book in December, and I started reading the book. And right away I saw, whoa, this is a life's work in a book, right? So I kind of talk about the Pablo Picasso story. He's scribbling the drawing on the napkin on a cafe in his 80s, and the woman comes and says, "Oh, look, it's beautiful. I'd love to buy that napkin from you." And he says, "Okay." She says, "How much?" He says, $20,000. And she goes, "What? It just took you 30 seconds to draw this on a napkin." He said, "No, it took me 83 years." Right. And that's what this is. This is what this has been for me. It's all that distilled down into what actually works in the reality of our situation. So I got involved with the book, got involved with the book club, signed up with the academy. And like you said, Taylor, environment is so much stronger than will. It's always been the case for me. And I just had to eat a big slice of humble pie in this journey, right? And say, look, I got to just do what I need to do to get around the right people. And, here we are. So,
this is so, I love this story
amazing
about Picasso. I want to talk about that because I think this is really such incredible perspective here. Because I've never thought about this, whenever you think about the wealth of years of experience. So not only whenever you layer in Larry's wealth of experience, the lifetime, the lifetime. He just celebrated 54 years. But then whenever you
in network marketing,
right? Network marketing alone. But then whenever you add all these other contributors and their years of experience, and you think about how much of lifetimes are in this and what they've taken, they've metabolized, they've implemented, that you have access to. Whenever you think about that, that is like, whoa, okay, we need to charge more for this book. That's what I think.
I certainly wouldn't give it away, because you give it away, there's no value. Everyone says, well, let's put a discounted price on this. Never on a discounted price from us. Maybe Amazon, they pull stuff like that, but we're not going to do it. The value's there.
So you've got the book, and so then I remember seeing you the first time in one of the deep dives. Talk about what's happened for you since you've been embracing the three-legged stool. And what you
Great, yeah, absolutely. So three-legged stool, by the way, Larry, that speaks directly to me. As a hobby, I've been a martial artist for my whole adult life, and we talk about the three-legged stool there. We talk about family, career, and the martial arts. So if you've only got two of the three, you're on shaky ground. So I mean, it's again, divine appointment. I don't know what else to say. You speak right to me. So it's just been an amazing journey. But as far as like how I use the book now, I've read it multiple times. Now what I do is I just open it, and I just study those pieces. Now the academy is gigantic for me, because that allows me in my off time, in my daily, to tune my attitude, to tune my perspective, because as you know, the emotions kind of go like this. So when they're heading down, or I realize I'm down or whatever, I just make it a habit. And just, there's been a lot of takeaways, like resolve, like we're talking about resolve, right? So burn the boats. That was a huge deal for me in my business. When I decided to go full time, it massively increased my business. People that were on the fence saw me take that leap and go, oh, okay, if you're really this serious about it, then I should really take a look at it. So that's really helped me. And the stories, that's something I'm still working on, right? Becoming that collector of stories.
Yes.
And it's just, I couldn't be more excited. I just feel like it's simplified everything. I think I shared this with you before about this concept of the backpack, which is when you get into this space, there's so many things to do, and you have to learn all these skills and attend all these meetings and do all this stuff. And then ultimately what happens is it's like, you don't know what to do. You're buried under all these choices, like analysis paralysis, right? So this has really helped me just get down to the job description, like the very and it's like you take that backpack off, and now I can just operate, and I just feel free and light and fast, and it's awesome. I mean, we talk about the simplified follow-up and things like that. I mean, just got 3 new customers in the last, week, just through, I don't know if this is right for you. It might be, possibly, but it's working for me. And boy, it'd be great if it worked for you, wouldn't it? I don't know. Yeah, let's try it. So
good for you.
It's so powerful, guys. How many of you would like, come on, 3 customers? Who can get 3 customers by implementing this? 3 customers? Who would like to get 3 customers a week? What would that look like for you over, let's just say, over the course of the next year, if you got 3 customers a week? Yeah. How would that change your life? I mean, and we're not even talking about building a team here. We're just talking about getting customers on your product. Guys, whenever you understand that right there, that is leverage. That is residual income. That's the power of what we do, that anybody can do this, right? Anybody can do this. I love this message. I love this story, Noah. This is exciting. I'm so happy to have you here today.
I'm just blown away. I'm glad I'm not stunned speechless like I normally am with you guys. So thanks for giving me this opportunity.
And listen, we appreciate you being on here, man. And come back with us in here in 3, 4, 5 weeks and give everybody an update on the numbers and what's happening with you and stuff, because
I want to see. I want to hear 90 days, like what's happening.
Yeah, the 90-day story and customers and onboarding members and what's happening. Because the way you bring your people in is the way you bring them up. I'm not talking about how you recruit them, because all of you recruit differently, because you have different companies, different products, different everything. Some of you have free and sign up. Some of you get your products at wholesale. Others sell packages and all of that. but that's not the way I'm talking about bringing them in. That's recruiting, and that changes constantly. What I'm talking about, how you bring them in with audience, language, and behavior that they can hear from you and replicate in their mind to get off to that fast start and stay consistent with it, because that never changes.
And what I love about your story too, Noah, is the fact that, I mean, typically from somebody coming from corporate America, it's really easy to stay stuck. It would be really easy for you to stay stuck with the backpack on. But it took resolve on your part to say, you know what? This is not fun, simple, magical. I'm taking the backpack off and I put my blinders on and do what they're talking about here. That takes resolve. You know, that's a hard thing to do, to change habits, right? Good habits, bad habits, but it's resolve changing habits. It's powerful.
And I know I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I know we're talking about the backpack that came up 2 or 3 times, because what's a backpack? It's in the academy is what we teach you on that, and it's back there, and you guys can find it and stuff. It's all self-taught back there.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, like I said, simplification. And it's, you know, I wish I was a super smart guy that could pick up on this stuff the first time, right? But looking back, I've got 20 years of, you know, working for somebody else in my head. So it's taken a while to unwind all that and to learn to employ myself. And, you know, I wish I could do this a little at a time, but I can't. I'm the kind of person that has to put my back against the wall in order to get going. So this is this 3-legged approach has been massive for me. It's just like a family that I live in, and I couldn't be more excited for my future in the business. I'll give you a 90-day update. It's going to be pretty
good. You know, you're talking about 20 years worth of experience in corporate America. I'm going to call that scar tissue. Okay, that 20 years worth of corporate America scar tissue, or that 20 years worth of being in a job scar tissue. But you know what? There's no difference in the scar tissue of network marketing. When a guy says, I got 10 years experience, or I got 15 or 20 or 30 years experience, okay, generally they got 1 year's experience repeated 10, 15, 20, or 30 times. It's the same. And I'm going to tell you right now, our space has changed. And since 2015, network marketing has been declining. No matter what the greatest year and the greatest banner and the greatest checks, it's been declining as a whole, because network marketing is no longer competing with network marketing. They're competing with the Ubers of the world and the Amazons of the world and the Airbnbs of these, where people can start this morning and without having to do anything can start making money this afternoon. Fun, simple, magical. So the scar tissue that we have in network marketing is even a heavier burden than what you have from a corporate America. And that scar tissue is important, because that's what you started off with here with, you know, you got confused. And that's in confusion, there's adversity. This is simple, fun, magical, and it works in every country with any product and any compensation model. ABC approach, man. It's lovely.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Noah. We appreciate your time. And I know the community loves this story. And I hope you guys were inspired today. So thank you so much.
July and August, we want to hear a report.
Okay, guys. Wow. I love this. I love the stories. I love the impact. I love how it's impacting people's lives, not only with business, but also, you know, how it's impacting the people that they are sharing their products with, and their products, you know, how their products are impacting their lives. So I'm going to bring our next guest up here. And we've got Elaine. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so happy to be here today.
From Scotland.
Yes, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I'm nervous, but I'm very, very excited. So thank you guys for inviting me on. And Noah, wow, how do I follow that?
Well, I know that you've got now. You know, we've gone from Oregon, U.S. Now we're over to Glasgow, Scotland. Glasgow,
Yes.
Scotland. So, well, tell us about you. Tell us about your story and how you got here.
Okay. Couldn't be more different from Noah's. But I'm Elaine Russell, as you say. I am from Glasgow in Scotland. I was introduced to network marketing actually 10 years ago. And it was through the products. I was a product user, completely fell in love with the products, had a fantastic result. And that's really how I fell into the business. People started to ask me, I got some customers, and it was great. I worked full time as a PA, so network marketing has always been a side gig. But back then, absolutely, like I say, great result, lots of customers. Predominantly it was all retail, but I started to get very, very busy. I felt like I had to know everything. I had to learn everything about everything, and then things just started to get very, very complicated. I was a busy fool. I wasn't doing my job, so my business wasn't growing. Um, I'd go to meetings and you'd see the big earners. They were excited. They were earning lots of money, and I was like, "That's not me. I will never be as good as you." And I just lost my confidence. I was like, this is not me. I can't do it. I always took the products. I would never ever not take the products, but I didn't believe that I could do the business. I wasn't as exciting as that person up on that stage. Nobody would want to join my team as much as them. So the last 7, 8 years, I was doing minimal. I was a product consumer. I'd have the odd customer here, there, to keep me going. But then back in December, my sponsor invited me on to a focus call with you guys. I was like, no, I can't do that. He's like, yes, just come on. So I came on, and your energy, your honesty, your enthusiasm that night was just an eye opener. And I came off that call, and like probably most people, I bought the book. Not going to lie, it arrived, and it probably lay for about a week or two before I actually opened it. Then I opened it, and oh my goodness, this book, so many nuggets. The one chapter, would I employ myself? Would I heck is like? And that's when I realised these guys that I'd seen the last few years up on stage, they were employing themselves. So I knew it was down to myself. The mental projector, that was a godsend. We've all got negative thoughts. Negative thoughts would creep in, day out, hour after hour. And just reading it and knowing what I had to recognise to switch that switch. I'm doing it, I'm getting better, but I've still got to work on it. But then I joined the book club. We were all in lockdown, so what else was going to do on a Friday night? So I joined it, and again, it just took that step up. The stories I was hearing, it was almost as if I was looking in a mirror. It was a carbon copy. The stories that these people were sharing, the struggles they'd had, and just changing things, just tweaking their mindsets and how they were moving. I'm like, that's exactly me. That's exactly how I feel. If these guys can do it, I can do it. I'm part of the 80%. I'm good enough. Of course I am. So then I joined Academy. Did not have a clue what I was getting myself in for. I thought it was classrooms and taking notes and face-to-faces. But the Academy, honestly, is where the magic happened for me. Like I say, I work full time. So to have access to you guys in my ears 24/7, a lot of us go to bed with you and wake up with you, but we can't stay in bed all day. So to have you guys in my ears 24/7, Noah mentioned it. It's like an attitude and injection. Having you there, I'd go for a walk at lunchtime. I would normally walk with my head down, frown in my face. But listening to you guys, I just felt I started, my shoulders went back, the smile was up, I was making eye contact, I was smiling. It was almost like a hug, but at the same time giving me a gentle push at the back, and just having the pillars and the audios 24/7. And I didn't realise I was taking it in. But then I realised I started to speak to people differently, like customers coming back. And whereas I would just kind of go blah, 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 I took things straight back to basics. I don't know about that, but what I do know is it was short, sharp, just the facts. And I started to use the tools that I've got, because now I'm starting to think, you're a potential distributor, you're a potential such and such in the marketing plan. So I want them to learn the way I'm learning now, from step one all the way through, so that they can do what I'm doing now, that I feel more confident. You guys have genuinely, the best way I can say it, it's the clarity, the simplification. I can now see through the fog. And that, I joined the Academy at the beginning of February. Last month was my biggest month that I've had since February 2013. And for me, it's just phenomenal. And now I can start to see the bigger numbers, the 5Ks and 10Ks. Whereas before, I was like, if I get to 1,000, great. But now I know I can do it. This side gig is paying for my mortgage, and that's a powerful story that I've got to share. And so I just thank you guys and my sponsor for really believing in me and inviting me to join you guys.
Wow. This is such a powerful story. It's so many comments over here, so relatable, so honest, the comments are really blowing up over here, Elaine. But what you said is so, because you've been hanging around for years, you've been to meetings, but you lost your confidence. Everything was complicated. You were introduced to the focus group, and you got the book. And I mean, like so many people, that's so relatable, because people get the book, but you got to have the resolve to open the book, right? And to take those steps that you've taken. You've done those things, right? You took the steps. You didn't know what the Academy was going to be for you, but you took the step, and you've been going to the gym and lifting the weights. And what I love about this story is how it's changed you, how it's impacted you, and how you see you.
Yeah.
That right there is so magical. And I don't know if you heard what she said, but she was doing about 1,000 points. And I think that you told us that you jumped up to 2,500 points in personal sales, right? So that's over
halfway through the month.
That's double. So you've already made that, and you still have a week and a half to go in the month. And I don't know if you caught this, guys. This is the story to go in the toolbox, right? She's paying her mortgage. She's doing this part-time, and she's paying her mortgage with her business. Such a powerful story, guys. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful.
At the 60 million people that are out there in America, almost 80% of them are this story we just heard from Elaine, okay? And let me tell you something, 80% of the people in your team is Elaine's story. You have them in your team, and you don't think they're doing anything. They want to. They don't know how. They have been confused by all of this white noise that's coming into our space that is constantly changing. You have Elaine's in your business right now, and all she did was take the steps. And it's it. There's no. Listen, there's fundamentals. You know what's in the ABC approach? Fundamentals. If you were in baseball, okay, in American baseball, because I know it's different in soccer and all that, but I'm going to use American baseball. It's run, hit, catch, throw. It's fundamentals. Everything you do in baseball is around those fundamentals. If you're in aviation, there's a handful, about a half a dozen fundamentals that no matter if it's a prop job, a helicopter, or a spaceship going to Mars, okay, there's a half a dozen fundamentals. And if you pay attention to those fundamentals, as this stuff comes in with social media and as fast as it comes in, it goes out. Add this to it. If you're not into social media, do this and it will still work for you.
I mean, everybody's just, you're going to have to go say hi to all these people who are just saying, well, what, I don't know who this is. You got to give StreamYard permission to use your name, but it says Facebook user says, massive well done, Elaine, and repping Glasgow too. So they must be from Scotland. They're on your
I don't know what that word means, but bravo.
I love that. And Xander, he's over here saying, well done. I know you're super happy. Look, David said, I paid for my rent last month for the first time. Guys, look at these stories. It's so powerful. Oh my gosh. Elaine, we are so proud of you, and we are so happy to have you a part of our community and part of our wealth building family here. You represent so well. I cannot wait to see what happens to you in the next 90 days.
We want you back. We want you back.
We want you back.
So do the community. The community wants to see your growth. Listen, you don't have to go from basic to silver, go to platinum. You just got to keep being you and getting it as good as you can at the level that you're at right now and be happy with you, because that's what this is about, because that's who we have Elaine's in our team. I was in Elaine. Taylor was in Elaine, okay? Everybody in this book, it was in Elaine, okay? That's how we did it, not in a lane, Elaine, E-L-A-I-N-E.
I love this story. So Jill says, amazing, Elaine. Well done. I earned last month the most I've earned in 7 years too.
Bravo.
It's an amazing feeling. So inspired to hear your story.
Do you know what would happen to you, quote unquote, leaders, if you activated your Elaines and Jill and they had their best months in a matter of 7 years? What's going to happen to you, so-called leader, quote, check and rank, okay? Instead of chasing the influence, just chase Elaine.
Here's Rachel says, I bloody love your story,
That's
Elaine.
That's UK. That's
I'm another Elaine, like you a few months ago, going to use your story to kick myself up the backside. Thank you for sharing. Well, there you go. You inspired lots of people today, Elaine and Noah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just share a couple things here and that I was thinking about last week. I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago. And I think it was Becky. And she went out and she had 8 customers in 10 days. I think it was 8 customers in 10 days. And she was so excited about it because she never did anything like that. Okay. And we got all those people in our group. We got ourselves like that. So what, if you can do it once, you can do it again, because it's thinking. The foundation that we teach in the academy is the 80, 15, and 5 foundation. And I'm going to give it to you here in income, but I want to give you another perspective of it. Generally, 80% of the people on your team are happy with that $500 to $1,500 a month. 15% are happy with $500, $1,500 a week, and 5% of them are happy at $500, $1,500 a day. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we get locked in just on the money aspect, just like we get locked in on rank, silver, gold, platinum, okay? But it's attitude, okay? It's thinking. And at that particular time, okay, Becky did not have a 5% income. But she was operating the previous 10 days with a 5% attitude, with a 5% belief system, with a 5% passion. And that fluctuates all the time. So 80, 15, and 5 is a huge foundation to build on. Taylor talks about believe, know, and own. You got to believe something, and that's one thing. Then you got to know it, then you got to own it. When you believe what we're sharing with you, that's 80% of the value. Okay, when you believe, now you know it because you've experienced, you're in the 15% category. And when you own it, you're in the 5% category. Now, that fluctuates. Even if you're at a 6-figure income, that fluctuates all the time. You fluctuate. You think it's there all the time. It isn't. Your attitude fluctuates. Your passion fluctuates. Your activity just keeps fluctuating. 80, 15, and 5 will serve you, and it's a basic foundation for what we do, and it will serve you in every area of your life. And I'm just telling you guys, we're just so excited about this community and what we're doing with it. And we have a goal. We have a goal, okay? I have been blessed in my career with 54 years on this planet to have been blessed with getting 2 B's in my resume. What does that mean? mentored and helped 2 companies, separate companies, get to $1 billion a year in sales. Last month, I was blessed. I'm still humbled by it because that got 2 Bravo Awards last month for helping 2 companies get to the greatest sales increase that they'd had, 600 million apiece. I was blessed by that. You know what we're going to be doing here with this community? We're going to get a 3rd B, but it's not going to come just from 1 or 2 companies. It's going to come from you as community members, and we're going to get it in 20. We're going to get it no later than 23. I want it in 22. That's ambitious, but it's no longer than 23. Every one of you can have as big a piece of that pie as you can, no matter what's going on with your company, no matter what's going on with your upline. This ABC approach is going to work for you, and you can be part of that $1 billion story forever and ever and ever. Come on, let's do it together, guys. We're going. We're not waiting.
So, are you guys excited? All right, if you haven't joined the book club, please go to themillionairetraining.com and join our book club so we can communicate directly with you. If you haven't got the book, guys, jump on and get the book. We've got it in Spanish. We've got it in German. We've got it in English. Get the book, right? You've got the club. And listen, bring your people. Let them come in. Let
us help
check
you.
it out.
We are your online upline. That's how we positioned ourselves, as the online upline. And I got to tell you, next week, I'm going to give you some stories that people have been working with me as an online upline. You're not going to believe what's going on out there.
It's so crazy.
Country, product, doesn't matter.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So guys, we hope you have a blessed, amazing weekend. I hope we brought value to you. I hope we inspired you. I hope these stories encouraged you, because if they can do it, you can do it, right? If the long-haired hippie construction worker can do it, the stay-at-home mom can do it, so can you.
There's no doubt about it, guys. You're good enough. You're tall enough. You're short enough. You can do it. We always say you're better than you think you are. You're stronger than you think you are, and you're more effective than you think you are. Take ownership of that. Get in this community. Let us strengthen that for you. You can do it.
So, this is Larry and Taylor. We're signing off with Club Friday. We're here to help you grow you,
to grow your team,
so you can grow your check,
so you can grow your company.